My mother stood up at Easter dinner, tapped her glass, and announced that my $1.2 million lake cottage, the one my grandmother left to me alone, was going to my pregnant sister. I was sitting 6 feet away, the deed was in my name, and nobody at that table asked me. My grandmother Ruth used to tell me that you never truly know your relatives until there is property on the table. I thought she was being dramatic. Then she passed away last spring, and her attorney read the will out loud in his office. The cottage on Birch Lake went to me, not divided among the grandchildren, not held in some trust with strings attached. Mine outright. For 15 years I had been the one driving up every October with my husband Daniel to drain the pipes, the one sanding the dock, the one on a ladder scraping wasp nests out of the eaves while the rest of the family arrived in July, emptied the refrigerator, and left wet towels on the floor. Grandma noticed. Herwell said so in a single dry sentence. For about a month everyone behaved. Then my younger sister Paige announced her pregnancy, and the entire family developed a sudden opinion about real estate. My mother started saying that a baby deserved to grow up near the water. My father pointed out that Daniel and I had no children and a perfectly nice condo in the city. Paige just smiled whenever the cottage came up, the way you smile about something that is already yours. The Easter announcement was the first time anyone said it plainly. I set down my fork and said the cottage was not available, because Grandma had already decided who it belonged to. My mother sighed like I was a stubborn child. My father said I could sign the title over once the baby arrived. Paige folded her hands over her stomach and said I could always buy something else. I told them I did not want something else, picked up my coat and left. The pressure campaign started the next morning. My mother called me selfish. My father said I was choosing money over family. Paige texted me nursery photos and asked whether the back bedroom got morning light. I stopped responding. 3 weekends later, Daniel and I drove up for some quiet and found 3 cars in the driveway. Inside my cottage, Paige's husband Kobe was photographing the master bedroom. My mother was holding fabric swatches against the curtains. A contractor stood in my kitchen with a tape measure. He greeted me cheerfully and said, "You must be the sister who is being difficult about all this." I told him I was the owner. His smile evaporated. My mother said we should all be adults about it, and I took out my phone and gave them 5 minutes to leave before I called the county sheriff. They left. Nobody apologized. That night my cousin Tessa messaged me. In the family group chat, my mother had posted photos of my cottage with a caption about Paige's new lake home. 40 relatives had congratulated her. Aunts were offering cribs and rocking chairs. Not one person asked whether it was true. I did not argue in the chat. I called a real estate attorney instead, and he asked me exactly one useful question. Did I honestly still want the place? I looked around and realized every board I had ever sanded now reminded me of people measuring my bedrooms. No, I said. Then we sell it, he said. The cottage went to market privately. No sign in the yard, no public listing, only vetted buyers. A retired schoolteacher and her husband made a full cash offer in under 3 weeks. The inspection passed, and we closed in 9 days. The wire hit my account before a single member of my family knew. 2 weeks later my mother called to say a moving van was booked for Saturday, for Paige's furniture. I told her to cancel it, because the house had new owners. She laughed. Then she stopped laughing, called me a liar, and hung up on me. Tessa called me Saturday evening breathless. The whole family had shown up with a rental truck. Halfway through unloading, the new owners pulled into their own driveway, introduced themselves, and asked why strangers were carrying a crib toward the porch. My father kept insisting there had been a mistake. A sheriff's deputy arrived within the half hour and explained that there had not. Every box went back on the truck. The furious messages lasted for days. I answered only one. When my mother demanded to know whether all of this had really been necessary, I wrote back that she had decided it was necessary the moment she started giving away something that had never belonged to her. Then I muted every chat. The proceeds went into 2 rental properties that now earn more in a year than the cottage ever saved us in vacations. Last month I drove past Birch Lake on a work trip and saw the new owners out on the dock with their grandchildren, and I did not even slow down. Grandma did not really leave me a cottage. She left me a test with my family's names on it, and every single one of them signed.